That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild, strawberry ice bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping requires. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
Do you believe? I know I do. Come on down and join me this Sunday at the Moorline Lager House for a Bengals watch party. We got $5 draft, $5 well drinks, $5 shot of the day. I'll be doing Bengals trivia, giving away some prizes. It's going to be a lot of fun. We even got bigger TVs now. So come on down, support the Bengals. Go hang out with some Bengals friends. It's been a great time. Show up at noon. I'm DJing. It'll be fun. See you there. Moorline Lager House. Let's go. Exactly. I hope to see you guys down at Moorline Lager House. We had an absolute blast this past weekend for the tailgate. But the watch party is free to get in. Just come on down. Like I said, it's $5 drafts, $5 well drinks, and $5 shots. And I'm giving away trivia. And we got big-ass TV screens to watch the game. So come on down. And I have just a question for all 22 of you who are watching right now. Dude, I got a question for you. I believe in them, and I'll tell you why. The reason being, the Bengals have been through this before. We did it 2 years ago when Joe hurt his wrist. Jake Browning came into that game in Baltimore, and we lost. The next week, I don't think we did so hot either because, let's be honest, Zach was trying to run the offense like if Joe Burrow was in there. And then they all of a sudden figured out what Jake does well. Pitch was the QB coach. Pitch coached him up to that. They know what Jake can do compared to what Joe does. So, go back to Sunday. What did they do? Put Jake Browning in there? I know he threw 3 interceptions. That's kind of what Jake does. He just throws the ball up sometimes. But they came back and won on a 95-yard drive, 97-yard drive, converted 2 fourth-down conversions to win the game. Telling you, it's not over yet. Just got to believe. I think we have the best backup in all of football. And I've been having arguments with people on Twitter about Carson Wentz. And, well, Carson Wentz is a starter. Carson Wentz hasn't been a starter in 5 years. So I'll take Jake Browning. What is up to everybody in chat? We've got, scroll back up at the top here. We got Stranger in there. We got Paul in there. Brad in there. Tony Blazin. Crypt Keeper. Natty Ron's in there. Mike, man, what is going on, everybody? All right. So I said we're going to have a round table. It might be just a really short table today because I don't know if Trags can join. He's traveling, and Joe Farsing has got flood up in his basement. So I don't think Joe's joining us. But we have the one who can keep us all together. You watched him at Cincy Jungle. You've seen him at the Orange and Black Insider podcast. Him and John the Brain Sheeran do a great job. He is the man, the myth, the legend. He is Anthony Cosenza. What's up, AC?
Hey. Well, a few things. Number one, I've come to really like your sponsorship music. It's got a little 311 vibe. I'm a big 311 guy. You know the guitar riff there, but the Browning one, man, I don't know. I know you caught some hell yesterday about it.
I did.
But I will say this. I did because I caught a little bit of your show yesterday. I will say this, that I was cooking dinner last night. And I caught myself going, "I'm leaving Jake Browning."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that is a catchy. Think what you want. It's got a hook. It's got a hook.
It's stuck in your head. I believe in Jake Browning."
But you did say, I think, in that Moreline promo, "Do you believe?" Boy, does that hit a little differently this week. So that is the question. Yeah, that is the question.
That's the question. Do you believe? I mean, and kind of what I said there at the beginning, the little monologue there I did is, and we were talking about this before the show started. You're like, you sound like you're trying to talk yourself into it. I'm like, well, I'm just pointing out facts. All right. So everything I said is true. You know, that is what happened 2 years ago. Jake Browning, when he came in, I don't remember what the record was, but I know we were below 500 by, I think, at least 2 games. I know somebody in the chat will probably correct me, but he led us to a 9-8 season. Now, that was with Zach Taylor and Pitch not really knowing because none of us knew what we had with Jake Browning back then. We know what we had with him now. And another point I'll put out there, it's a contract year for Jake. This is the best shot he will ever have in his entire life to go prove that he's an NFL starting quarterback. And by the way, he'll be a free agent after this year. So, I mean, yeah, it's all right out there for him. Good.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, I thought I lost you. I'm sorry.
Nope,
you're good. I was looking at the win-loss record. It looks like they were 0-2, 1-2, 1-3, 4-3, 5-3. They were 5-5, I think, after in that game that he took over after he took over for Burrow in 2023. So they were right at 500, I think. So, and that pencils out because then he went 4-3 the rest of the way, and there you have the 9-8 there. So at least in my I'm horrible at math, so I think that's right. But you're right. You're right. There's I mean, yeah, close enough for government work, right? So exactly. That is that's something to take into account. Obviously, he's got a leg up being 2-0, a division win already under the belt, which is good to hear. But I know people want to say, "Oh, he threw 3 picks last week," and yeah, some of them were just not great. But
just threw them up.
But he did throw that dot to T. That was an absolute strike. He got some help. I mean, I thought it was still a good throw, but he got some great help from Mitchell Tinsley. And then when it came down to it, by the way, the sequence of events on that final drive, it just fell into the Bengals' wheelhouse, how it worked out. And going for it, I think at your own 15 on 4th down, you get that 4th down conversion. And then with the Vikings having 2 or 3 timeouts on that final drive themselves, you then not only didn't give the ball back to them, but then as you continued to move the ball, you forced them to burn those timeouts. So if you did score and left time on the clock, it worked out like just gangbusters for them. So these are, again, Burrow obviously being out is a huge hindrance to this team's championship run. I do think Browning can keep the ship upright. And probably keep this team in playoff contention should he play similarly to what he did. And there's not really, I know he didn't play really at all in 2024, but you would think he now had, given the experience as a starting NFL quarterback and starting games against the AFC North, didn't have a lot of success against him when he played, but you would think now he's better prepared for being thrust into a situation. And this team is better prepared. And I said this on our show yesterday with John. The ironies that came out of this game and sad ironies that came out of this game. This was one of the healthiest the Bengals have ever been to start a season in recent memory. Then you lose your franchise quarterback. Yeah. And then, then on the other side, on the positive side, you're still getting the defense let up a lot of points this last week, but you are still getting guys flying to the ball, making turnovers, getting off the field at the timely points when that was not a theme the last couple of seasons. So points be damned in this one. Defense came up when it absolutely needed to, and the offense, that final drive was just bananas. So, yeah.
And the thing is, too, is our defense, and I was talking to one of my buddies on the phone about this. I was heading from work this morning. This defense, I've said this a couple shows, probably last week, it's kind of reminded me of the Super Bowl defense. I mean, because it was that bend, don't break. We gave up a lot of yards in that Super Bowl, but we turned the ball over a lot, too, and we're starting to do that again this year. Will it be as good as that one? I have no idea. I'm going by just two weeks. But if you guys remember the Super Bowl run, the defense is the reason we went to that Super Bowl. The offense was good, but it's nowhere close to what it could be. Now, even with Jake Browning, with all the weapons we have, I mean, because we got T. We all know we got T, Jamar, Gesicki, Chase Brown, but we got Noah Fant. We got Tinsley. Tinsley might be a diamond in the rough. I mean, who knows what we're going to get out of that guy, but I like it so far. We have a lot more weapons, I think. And Jake is more confident in what he's doing. And it's just, and I hate to say it, unfortunately, we're used to this. I mean, when Burrow gets hurt, he really gets hurt, and the prognosis is he went to IR today. He's got to miss at least 4 weeks with that, which he's going to miss at least 3 months. That's the earliest he can come back. Hopefully he'll come back by then. And if he does, and if Jake keeps us in this playoff hunt, we got the next, that week will be week 15 against Baltimore, which would be a big ask for Joe Burrow to come back and play good. But it's still there. All the cards are still there. Nothing's really changed because if you – and we go through. So we got Denver. And this is another one. I was looking at this morning, I think it was. Denver. They just got blown out by Indy and Danny Dimes. I know it's in Denver. I know it's different. But if Indy could beat them, we sure as hell could beat them, I think. Green Bay, we're not – I don't think we're going to beat that one. I do have some. Yeah,
that's the one. That's the one I'm supposed to go to, also. So that changed dramatically there for me. But yeah, go ahead.
And the funny thing in my season prediction, I had those flipped, but now, which I'm still going with my season prediction. But I mean, that's just season prediction. Weekly prediction, I can change it. But you got those two, and then you got Detroit. I think that's a winnable game. Or it's Denver then Detroit. Sorry, Denver then Detroit then Green Bay. So those are all winnable games. Then you got Green Bay. Well, that's a hard one. Pittsburgh, and I've said this, AC, that everybody's hooting and hollering about how great their defense is. I like their defense is old. I mean, they traded Micah Parsons, and I don't think. And Aaron Rodgers is the guy.
Fitzpatrick.
Oh yeah, Big Fitzpatrick. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Big Fitzpatrick. They traded him, and they got older. So I mean, I don't think their defense is that great. So I was more confident with Joe Burrow, obviously, but that's one that we might be able to pull out. I mean, I'm looking through these like if Jake plays to what I think he can and what we've seen him do, we might be okay.
So a few things that you talked about there. Number one, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I just am not. I'm just not expecting. I'm not of the mindset, and maybe he will be back. This isn't an indictment on Burrow or his rehab process or anything. I'm just not really expecting him back this year. I
Most
think
people aren't.
I think that's. That's your step foot. It's not your back plant foot, but it is a front plant foot. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Stranger things have happened. We'll see. Also, where's he going to be at physically, like conditioning wise, that sort of thing, going forward. But I think right now, and the team should be embracing the mindset of, okay, it's just Jake for now, going forward. It's Jake. Yeah. If Joe comes back and he ends up playing well, that sort of thing, that's icing on the cake. But that's just me. Maybe others don't feel the same way. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. You're talking about a 3-month timeline. You're talking about rushing him back. I just don't know. I don't know. You mentioned the defense. I am old enough to remember Ice, and I don't want to throw you under the bus, but
Well,
I think
trust
you
me,
are
I'm old
too.
enough to remember probably what you're talking about.
I am old enough to remember the 2005 defense.
Oh, yeah.
And what that defense did is a lot of bend don't break, a ton of turnovers.
It was
a ton of turnovers. And what they did, and this is what I'm hoping Al Golden's unit can continue to do for Jake Browning, which is what made Carson have the most successful, I think, passing season for a long time in Bengals history, which is create those short fields, create those opportunities for more points because you've created a turnover. So I see a little bit of a blend of 21 and 05 in this defense. But the thing that concerns me about this year's team, as opposed to 21 specifically, is a lack of interior pass rush. You were able to get more out of BJ Hill. Now, granted, he had a pretty good first game, but you were able to get more out of BJ Hill. You had Larry Ogunjobi, and that formula worked really, really well. You now got Shamar Stewart that you want to move around a little bit. He's got an ankle injury, so that worries me a little bit going forward. But if you can continue to, hey, if you let him move down the field, you get that interception, you create a short field momentum swing, that sort of thing, you'll take that too. So, Bengals are, I think still plus in the turnover column after Browning's 3 picks. I think they're like +1.
Not by much.
Yeah. But that's what you want. That's what you want. And so I am not as optimistic about the Lions game as maybe you are. I do think that this week, obviously, for a lot of reasons, I think this is very winnable, and I think this is going to also be fire under the ass of Jake Browning because it's his old team, and the clip you just played 3 times, the should have never cut me thing. So yeah. So I think they are set up, despite all the things, to be 3-0. Then if you can kind of tread water a little bit through those tough games, kind of get through a few of them, sneak a win or two, and then you've got a little bit of a break at the end of the schedule, but you've got also in that November, you've got a couple Ravens games. You've got a couple of other games in there. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I can't specifically remember how it all falls together, but there's another tough stretch in there that the Bengals need to kind of tread water.
So you got Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Buffalo. Buffalo, Baltimore, then Miami.
That's a tough stretch. I'm not as optimistic about going up against the Steelers. I'm too jaded. I've been around these parts too long. And quite honestly, they made Jake play poorly, I think, twice the last time he was out there. So I'm a little hesitant on that one. But if you can sneak the Vikings game and then the Denver game, particularly because that's a conference game, if you can get 2 wins there, you get to 4-0 somehow. And then if you maybe drop the 2 against the Lions and the Packers, those are non-conference games.
Then
you're looking at then you got 4-2. Then you've got a big game against Pittsburgh coming up there, and if you can see what happens there. But I think if they can get 500 or 4-2 by the time they hit Pittsburgh, I think they're cruising along.
Yeah, and there's a very good chance that they could be 3-0, possibly 4-0. And once you get past that stretch, past Detroit, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, you got the Jets. We should beat them. Chicago, we should beat them. Pittsburgh, I don't know. Patriots, that one, I haven't really watched the Patriots play this year. I don't even know what their record is, to be honest. But I feel confident that we would have a shot. They got Baltimore, Buffalo. Buffalo, we've owned Buffalo, but that's with Joe. Yeah, so we'll see. And then Baltimore again. Then the end of the season is Miami, Arizona, and the Browns. And so,
what's funny is we were a little bit, I guess, overconfident or at least I was, that hey, maybe that week 18 game against the Browns, maybe that's a sit 'em, and that might be a win and in. You got to win that one to get in, type of thing, depending on how the season plays out.
Exactly. All right, let's get to some of the. I know you guys blow the chat up here. Let me get to Dustin's here. And I want to preface this first. I want to say this first. I think for some reason the offensive line played better, I think, with Jake Browning in there than it did with Joe. Let me read Dustin's comment here. Anthony, I think we had some pretty high hopes for Scott Peters. However, still having some of the same issues. Joe Walters did point out concerns about technique. Thoughts on what you are seeing on the O-line?
A lot going on there. obviously Mims, you like some of the things you saw week 1. Then he had the ankle issue, and I think it popped back up again, or something popped back up again this week. Didn't play as well. I don't know if I think I said this pre-show with John, but I hate to see Dalton Reisner beat himself up about, he had a public comment about that. I just, I understand. I like
you feel bad,
someone taking, I like him
it,
taking accountability. Yeah. I like him taking accountability, but it's like, freak things happen, man. And yeah, you maybe didn't have your best rep. I don't know. I feel for him, especially new guy. And he was also thrust into the starting lineup type of thing because of injury. So it's not the easiest ask there, but the thing that I think sticks out to me, and you said it, was that this team pass protects, at least metric wise, a little bit better with Browning, it would seem, and less hits on Browning, it would seem.
He can throw the ball faster too.
He does. They do a little bit more play action with Browning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think under center, and also Browning ad-libs, but not nearly to the extent that Joe does. And so when you're doing a combination of shotgun snaps plus all of the ad-libbing that Joe does, it's a hard ask for the offensive line. That being said, Orlando Brown Jr., I thought he had a good first half against Cleveland, but obviously Miles had his way with him. He's been solid since the Bengals signed him, but he has not been the same. And I love him. I love him for his personality and his leadership and everything that he brings and his talent. But he hasn't been to that same quite level, be it health issues or that sort of thing, from his days with the Chiefs and/or especially the Ravens. So they need to figure something out there. I think some of that has to do with some left guard instability as well, right next to him. And speaking of him, Fairchild's had a good amount of ups and some downs as well, which is to be expected 2 games into his pro career. I think he had a little, there are some welcome to the actual NFL regular season moments from him. But I think he looks pretty good. Karras is Karras. He'll be steady, I think, but they have to shore up in general. They have to shore up the interior. I think that comes more with Reisner getting more time and more reps, that sort of thing, gelling with his offensive line. Mims needs to stay healthy. And he is a massive human being, and Ice. The big thing with him coming out of college is talent galore, but can't stay on the field. Right. And when you're that big and you're playing a trench position, your ankles get in the wash, your knees get in the wash, that sort of thing. A lot of soft tissue stuff that is a little scary. So if he can stay healthy and realize his potential, I think they'll be okay. I think also we're gonna put these metrics of pass protection, Browning versus Burrow, to the test, because we'll see if that continues in terms of efficiency, if they're able to do that, and if they can get the run game going. The run game has been sniped. And I love Chase Brown, but you may need to start sprinkling in some of the bigger guys in there as well. Pete Ryan, Brooks, start getting kind of instead of just stopped at the line or that sort of thing. Even if it is 3 yards in a cloud of dust, you're not getting into then a 2nd and 9, a 3rd and 8, that sort of thing. If you can get a couple of runs that net 6-7 yards, and now you're in 3rd and 3, that's a much better position, especially with Jake Browning back there. With the play action, I don't know about you, man. I think that Gesicki and Noah Fant will become Jake Browning's best friends. I really do.
I do. Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to throw the 50-50 balls to T all the time. I think he's going to try and do that a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of short yards after the catch stuff with Chase, and let him do his thing in space. But I expect the tight ends to have a much more prominent role with Browning under center.
And the thing is, too, if you could get out there and establish the run, like a lot of people in the chat are saying we have a hard time with stunts, which we do. We can't, for some reason, figure out how to block a stunt. But we get that run game going, we get the offensive line firing off the ball and going forward and attacking instead of, backing up and trying to pass protect. So I think that would help, too. Just get that mindset of attack.
But that's what we saw. That's what we saw in the first drive of the Cleveland game, or the first 2 drives of the Cleveland game. They were getting after it, man. Yeah. And they were pushing. And then all of a sudden, something changed at halftime. Myles Garrett became his usual freak self, and then things just haven't been the same.
Myles Garrett decided to be Myles Garrett, is what I keep saying. That's what happened there. But I mean, well, these are all things that everybody's got to step up and do better at. I mean, it's just got to. And it kind of, I think it's like, I don't know about you, but watching Zach Taylor after the game and then his press conference on Monday, there was no hesitation in his voice. He was pretty, and not that I'm going to say he's going to be, well, we're going to try, but he was pretty confident and adamant about where this team is at and how the locker room feels. And sometimes you take that as coaches speak, but I felt Zach really meant that. And that's the thing, is that's where I go back to, we've been there, done this before. I mean, for some reason, when Joe Burrow gets hurt, he gets hurt. Like, he can't just have a turf toe that he can play through. He's got one that he's got to get surgery on, which I heard on a podcast. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been yours. I don't remember. Where they said this is an unusual turf toe injury for a quarterback. Quarterbacks usually don't get this.
Of course.
Like, it's just like the wrist injury. Nobody's ever seen him a quarterback get a wrist injury. Ours does for some reason. I don't know why, but when he gets hurt, he gets hurt. So this team has been used to this. So it really should be. And that's where I kind of a little disappointed in Dey Nation, where they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Like, well, we're going to do the same thing we've done before. We lost Joe Burrow. Jake Brown is going to come in, and we're going to deal with it. But I keep going back to this point. We're 2-0. This is the best start we've had in Zach Taylor era. So we already playing with cash money here. So that's where I'm like, we got a good shot at going 4-0. If we go 4-0, that's a month of winning right there. We got to lose 4 games to get back if we get there. Let's concentrate on going 3-0. Yeah. I'm just saying, we're in a better spot than we've ever been when we lose Joe Burrow.
Well, they're marching towards one of their major goals of the season, which is a strong start to the season, and exactly. record wise, at least, that was one of the major goals, major focuses of the offseason. But look, in terms of what you said about Zach Taylor's approach or attitude about this, number one, he's been here before, as you said. The team's been here before, so they've prepared this way. They are probably better prepared right now than they were back in 2023. Mm-hmm. Yes, the record is 2-0, but it's also you're 2-0 and you're in the 3rd week of the season. You don't want to give off the vibe that you're packing things up. Right. I mean, it's like, and that's what some Bengals fans want to do. That is not what the approach, the attitude at all that Zach Taylor and this team should have,
or should be. It should be.
And whether this season turns into a 6-win season or a 10-win season, we'll see. But as of mid-September, your franchise quarterback goes down with an injury. You're 2-0, and you can't say, "Well, oh boy," you just can't exude that. And so now, whether it produces real fruit in the win column or not, I do like the approach. I like the strength, I guess, that he showed, and the Bengals will do what they have to do and adjust. We'll just see how effective it is.
Mike Madden, no, I don't believe you're wrong. He said, "Am I wrong?" It seems Joe hangs on the ball too long trying to make the big plays. Yes, that's the thing. That's one thing I was discussing with one of my buddies on the phone today. Is the thing I love about Joe Burrow is also the thing that I think gets him hurt. Like, I'll just go back to the Cleveland game where Myles Garrett went around, came right up the middle and drilled him, and Burrow stood there, took it, and still made the play. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Joe Burrow's a psychopath. I mean, but he's taking more hits than he has to. And yes, our offensive line hasn't been that good, but also some of this is Joe trying to make plays because that's what Joe does. Now, Jake Browning, he's going to get rid of the ball faster. So that is one of the issues. And I don't know how, I'm not saying Joe should change because I don't know how you take that out of him. That's the way he plays. But you're gonna have this happen because he's trying to make play. I mean, just look at Jaden Daniels. He might be out next week too because he's trying to make a play. There's more quarterbacks now that I think are running around in the pocket or outside the pocket trying to make plays. And I can't remember who said it, but if you're running quarterback, you're not going to be a very long for this league quarterback. And that's what's kind of happening. I'm not saying that Joe runs, but him moving around in the pocket and stuff and trying to make plays, which we love when he does, it does come with a consequence sometimes of taking hits that he doesn't have to, and accumulate enough of those, you're going to get hurt.
I don't think, despite all the injuries he's suffered, I don't think he's ever going to change, Joe.
No,
I don't think he's. That's just
not.
That's not in the DNA. And unfortunately, it does come with a playing with fire type of thing. And I mean, we saw this in the Washington preseason game when he got lit. He got lit up, right. And we're like, oh my gosh, get him out of there! Get him out of there! Yeah. But it's just his style of play. And there are a handful of quarterbacks that do this, and they go through 2, 3, sometimes 4 reads before they get rid of the ball. And so I think you're going to start seeing Browning kind of first read, second read type of thing. If not, maybe a little more throw it away or that sort of thing. But as my co-host John said yesterday, initially I kind of was taken aback by it, but there is still a really high gunslinger mentality to Jake Browning.
Oh,
like
yeah.
He's like T. Higgins is one-on-one down the sideline. I'm giving him a 50-50 ball. Yeah. There is still a lot of that. Because like I said, initially I took pause to it, but then I was like, well, you think about it. I mean, he'll make a throw. It'll be a pick sometimes, but it'll be a huge play. You go back to that Minnesota game in 2023 with the spin around reach that T did. That was a terrible throw. It was really a terrible throw. But at the same time, he had the balls to do it because it's like I know the potential of this being a huge play. So, and I know who I've got down there. So I think you're still going to see a lot of that, but I do think you are going to see a little more running and attempting to establish that, more play action, and we'll see what that comes with.
And this could be more under center because Jake Browning does do under center. So that's like I said, the offense is going to be still explosive, I think, but it's going to look different. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be as explosive as Joe Burrow because there's only one Joe Burrow. But Jake Browning can be an explosive quarterback in this system, like you just said. You remember a couple of years ago, Joe said, F it, Jamar's down there somewhere. Jake's got that in him. And that perfect example you're talking, I'm like, yes, T. Higgins throwing it up there and spinning around. And that was I think it was, if I'm right, that was the game-winning touchdown. I think it was in Minnesota.
I think it ended up, did that one go to overtime? I can't remember if it went to overtime. I'll have to look. Let me see. Let me see. I still have this in front of me, Ice. Let me see.
I don't remember.
Minnesota was in overtime. Yeah, took it to overtime.
There you go. And that's when Jake, said the famous "should never effing cut me." So I mean, all I'm saying is we got a shot, and like let's see who said it. I just saw it on here. Who said that? 60% of the here it is. T. Brook, he said, "Did you know that 67% of the starting QBs missed multiple games last year?" Yeah, I mean there are
the more you know. The more you know, right?
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I like this. Percy says the Bengals will score. The score will be 28-24. Which I mean, look, we ain't blowing Minnesota out. I will tell you that. This ain't gonna be a blowout. And I don't know if we will have a blowout. That's where, like you said earlier in this broadcast, and I did the same thing. I thought we're gonna win a lot of games in that Browns game. It's not going to matter because we're going to be in the playoffs. So I kind of just put that as a loss. It could come down to that. And now will it come down to that with Joe Burrow as our quarterback, or will it come down with Jake Browning? And like I said, I'm not a doctor. I have no idea. If you listen to a doctor, because Sal Wilcox on Believe in a podcast network, which is the same one you're on, had Dr. Chow on. If you listen to him, he doesn't think he's coming back. But I mean, he said he could, but it's more unlikely that he will. But the thing is, like, to me, if we're in this, Joe's going to do everything possible to come back. So that's why I'm like, that's the whole thing too, is like Joe coming back also hinges on Jake Browning. If they do good enough, if they're out of the playoffs, the Bengals won't let him come back. That's not going to happen. But if they're close, if they're within, a game or first place, whatever, if they're in first place, now see that's the thing I'm curious about. And this is what's going to happen. I can guarantee you. If Jake Browning balls out, because somebody already put it in the comments. It was at the beginning of the show. If Jake Browning balls out, how long do you think it'll take for the conversation to come back? That Joe Burrow's ready to come back. Well, do you go with Jake Browning, who's been your starting quarterback all year long, or do you go back to Joe Burrow? I guarantee you that's going to be a conversation if Jake Browning plays like I think he can.
It would be a tough call. It would be a good problem to have, but it would be a tough call because, and then you have to gauge where Burrow's at physically, conditioning wise, rust, all of that. And if the team is truly kind of rolling, I don't know. You don't want to lose that momentum, but it sounds wild to say that undrafted Jake Browning, you would continue to ride that until,
I mean, well, I'm not saying Jake Browning's Tom Brady, but look, Tom Brady, he was a quarterback, and there's been other quarterbacks. I mean, Foles went and won for Pittsburgh, and I forgot about this. The 70. This is how old I am. Well, actually, this is before me. I know this though. 72 Dolphins. They went undefeated. Their quarterback got hurt through the season, so they didn't even have their starting quarterback.
Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, Greasy was their starting quarterback, and he got knocked out, and he didn't come back till I think the last week when they played 17 games. So week 16 or week 17, he came back. So, I mean, again, I'm not comparing us to the 72 Dolphins. I'm just saying it's happened before.
Different era. Yeah.
But Foles came in and did it. And
no, I just want to point this out. Okay, so if you go back to the games that Browning started in 2023, okay, they lost by 14 to Baltimore. That was just kind of, obviously that was a big deflating thing. They lost to Pittsburgh the following week by one possession, 10-16. They won in overtime in Jacksonville, 34-31. Then they blew the doors up.
This is when Jake started. To clarify.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So week 10. I think it was. No, week 11, which is their 10th game, was the Baltimore game when he came in halfway through and they lost by 14. Mm-hmm. The next week they lost by one possession to Pittsburgh, 10-16, ugly game. Then they won at Jacksonville, 34-31 in overtime, wild game. Then they blew the doors off of Indy, 34-14. Then they won in overtime again against Minnesota, 27-24. They lost to Pittsburgh. They got housed on that one, 34-11. But pretty close to a one-possession game against Kansas City, and that game was pretty close. That ended up deciding the season, 17-25, and then they won against Cleveland in the final week. But, I mean, even against some of those tougher teams, for the most part, not only did he manage to keep it close, but he's eked out big wins there too. So, that's 2 years ago now, so you got to take it for what it is, but you have to figure he's more experienced. He's more experienced as a starter. And the Bengals, he was starting off at 0-0 basically halfway through, and now he's 2-0. So
right, and like I said, he's in a contract year. And Corey Dillon said that's a very, very big motivation right there.
Mm-hmm.
He can get paid and be a starting quarterback, which is what he wants. Of course, he wants to be a starting quarterback. So I mean, it's all pointing in the direction that it might not be as bad as everybody thinks. Now, we got to stay healthy. We cannot lose anybody else. Like Mims got to stay healthy. Shamar Stewart's got to come back and be healthy. Defense got to play better. The offense got to play better, which I do think they will. Because I mean, they had to do that anyway. Even if Joe Burrow was in there, defense got to play better. Offense line's got to play better. So these are things that, I'm not sitting there saying we're going to go blow Minnesota out. I have no idea. I'm saying we got a shot. We got a shot at beating Minnesota. We got a shot at beating Denver. And if you get to that point, we're 4-0. That's that you're. What's the percentage of teams that start out 3-0 making the playoffs? Do you have that available?
I don't have that in front of me.
I'm sure somebody in the I'm sure somebody in the chat does because the Chiefs are 0-2, which
probably pretty high.
Probably pretty high, even with a backup quarterback. And we're in first place, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the thing is there's a chance, and that's all you can hope for. I mean. That's why we kept Jake Browning. That's why they didn't want him to leave. Because I said this 2 years ago. I'm like, hey, why don't you try to dangle Jake Browning out there, see if you can get some draft picks for him. I'm glad we didn't because we have him now because I don't know who would be our backup quarterback. Because before we got Jake Browning, I'm like, if we lose Joe Burrow, the season's over. Now I'm not saying the season's over or it's not. I don't know. I think we actually have a shot at this. That's the biggest thing.
So to answer your question, the starting off 2-0 and making the playoffs is about 64%. Success rate around 75 to 76% since the 1970s, and a touch over 76% since 1990 or the 2000s.
There you go.
For 3-0.
Dustin here, he says, how concerned are you guys about the swing tackle? Ford looked horrible when he came in Sunday.
Very.
It's good.
No, go ahead, man. I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, it's concerning, but I don't know what to do about it. You know, that's kind of where I'm at. Do you try to put Rivers out there and see if he might be have a better shot at? I mean, because which sucks is Ford played really well for us last year, and maybe Ford can get back to where he was. But I mean, you're not going to find. I don't think you're going to find somebody off the street to come in and be that. To me, the only option would be try to put Rivers out there, which I like Rivers. I think Rivers can be our eventual starting right guard eventually. Not this year, but maybe next year. Yeah, what were you going to say?
Well, yeah, Ford did not play well last week, and so I think I was on right around final cuts on your show or something like that. I just said, kind of the missing. I think it was right after Reisner signed and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I said, that the only thing I'm worried about is, veteran swing tackle. And they did not really go out and do that. They had Trent Brown last year. I think he is a free agent right now, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, maybe that's another avenue they explore, but they need, again, you can't have guys come in with injury and things just fall apart. You just can't. And granted, backups are backups for a reason, but you have to be able to continue to be effective on offense and have a decent offensive line, even if your starter is out. You can't have all pros across the board and all pro backups. That's just obviously not realistic, but need to have capable guys off of the bench.
Yeah. Now G. Lou says, I don't believe Rivers is a tackle. I don't either. I think he's a future right guard, but right now he has played tackle. So, I mean, as to who we have on the bench right now, that would be the next guy I would think that would be up there. Unless you put Cochran, but Cochran's he's more left. I guess, he's swinging to either way. Cochran would be the only other one maybe, and I don't even think they've ever used him as a swing, to be honest.
Was he one of those Dennis Rowland tackle eligible recently? Wasn't he one of those guys on those short yardage deals? I think
he might be
where he's been out there. Yeah.
And I did think about this, and I don't know. He said, Patrick, come back. Can he be the answer? Swing. He's a guard
at tackle.
Yeah, guard. I wouldn't really. Yeah, the swing tackle. I really wouldn't put him out there because he is only a guard. He's never. I don't know if he's ever.
He's been a guard and a center, I think. I'll look if he's played tackle snaps, but that's not. I don't think that's the avenue you want. Yeah.
No, that's good because it did pop in my head, and I'm like, nah, he's been more of a guard, so that's why I go to Rivers because he's actually played tackle.
Yeah, and one thing John mentioned on our show, and again, it was one of those things where I took pause, and then I was like, well, maybe. You ever see that meme where it's like, no, oh, no, yeah, no, maybe. Reisner was a left tackle in college, and so. He kind of threw out the idea, maybe emergency situation because of his pass pro ability. Maybe if you're in a complete pinch, maybe that's the way you go. Maybe you kick Rivers inside if that's, to right guard, that sort of thing. I don't know how much legs that actually has, but that is a guy that has, he's never been a tackle in the NFL, but he was a starting tackle for, Iowa, I think.
I think it was Iowa.
Yeah. So
I created
I don't know. He's had experience, I guess, at a somewhat high level.
I mean, either way, we don't have a good answer. I'll put it to you that way. We don't have a good answer.
We're grasping at straws right now, man.
The best case scenario is Ford starts playing like he did last year. That's the best case scenario in that. Yeah. So it is kind of scary. How long is Cochran out? Or not Cochran? Patrick. How long is he out? Do you know?
Well, they put him on injured reserve, which is
he's missed 4 games, so he's missed 1.
Yeah, he's going to miss 4 games. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the rules now you don't have to immediately designate. I think you don't have to immediately designate IR return type of thing. But then when if you wanted to do that you can nominate, and I think you can only have 2 guys at a time on IR return, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta brush up on my rules here, but that's usually how that works. And then and then you got Burrow now placed on that, so we'll see how that all happens.
Now this is a true fan here. She's first give me views on Twitter and on YouTube. I appreciate that. She's got them on both here. So that's how you guys. Everybody should do this. Just watch it.
Double dipping. I love it. I love it.
Exactly. So I know you had Sam Hubbard on your show. I did go listen to that over the weekend. How was that? Because Sam sounds like he's a fun guy to interview. I'd love to interview him sometime. How was that interviewing Sam?
Awesome. We have had the pleasure of having him on. He is the Bengals player who has joined us the most on our show. I think he's been on our show 5 or 6 times now. It always seems to be right before the season starts, right as the season commences, that sort of thing. And I thought it was especially cool, the timing, because he was ruler of the jungle. I don't know if anyone checked out. He was manning a Crown Royal rig.
Yeah.
At the East Plaza there. I was like, I have major FOMO here, but he was giving out stuff. It was cool. He was giving out, apparently he was giving out bags of goodies to veterans. He was doling out some cocktails for people and just hanging out, taking pictures with people. The most, to me, all of the Bengals players that you've interviewed a lot. We've had the opportunity to interview a lot. I don't really have a negative thing to say about anyone. They've been gracious to us. They've been kind. He just seems salt of the earth.
He does.
Good dude. Dude. And he loves the city. He loves the Bengals. He always still mentions Zach Taylor. I think he and Zach Taylor have a pretty special bond even after his retirement, which is really cool to see. I know he didn't have all the professional accolades, Pro Bowls, etc., but I wonder if he's going to be a Ring of Honor guy down the road just for some of the big moments he had for this team and
the Rumble in the Jungle.
Homegrown guy. Yeah. Good dude. I appreciate the plug, but I more am like you, where it's like just a good dude. Good dude. And I've never met him in person, unfortunately, but every time, I joke, an annual tradition unlike any other, because we get it. We've had him on. And but he's always like, hey guys, thanks for having me on. It's great to see. Even like before we take the air to record, he's like, how are you guys doing? It's good to see you guys again. What's new? Like, just good dude.
Yeah, I met him once in person at his
foaling.
Yeah. I was wearing my I had my orange colored sunglasses on my hat. He stopped me. He goes, where'd you get those at? I said, I actually bought them off a buddy of mine. He goes, those are awesome. I was like, thanks. And then I met his dad a couple years ago, tailgating. So we first had the Jack by Joey beer, and we're standing in line waiting to get into the tailgate. And I said, I'll say, hand out the Jack by Joey beer, and I didn't even know it was Sam's dad. And he goes, yeah. And he said, I'm whatever Sam's dad's name is. I can't remember. Hubbard. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, you want a Jack by Joey beer? He goes, yeah. You guys ever thought about doing a Sam Hubbard beer? I was like, I don't know. I talked to the guy who created it, but he was a cool guy. So I mean, I think they are. When you meet genuine people like that, then they're down to earth. It's because it's weird doing from coming from just a fan to doing this now and actually getting to meet some of these guys. Like, they're actually pretty normal. You know
who also is like that, and I saw him on your clip montage that you were interviewing him in person. I feel like Ken Anderson's like that a lot.
Yeah.
Ken Anderson just, again, he's drinking beer at noon, and I mean, he's golfing and does awesome charity work. So I mean, the list goes on and on. We've talked to a bunch of cool guys, but I have a lot of respect for Sam and the way he carries himself, and I think he did things the right way. His body was maybe breaking down a little bit, and he had some big positive personal things, engaged, married, etc., that were going on, and he just said, hey, it's time. So
did
it the right way.
Just start a family, make some babies. Make some more Sam Hubbards.
There you go. Sam Hubbard Jr. on the manning the Bengals left defensive end.
Exactly. All right, Tony Blazin wants to know here, do we think Carter is going to get some snaps this Sunday? I'm assuming he means the linebacker, right?
Barrett.
Yeah, Barrett Carter. Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know. I think the linebacker. Yeah, I think he'll get some, but I think the linebacking corps actually played pretty good. I think Logan Wilson has played better than what we thought he was going to. Well, I'm not going to say we, because I was just putting it out there. I wasn't sure. I don't want to say I was giving up on Logan. Still, people thought he lost a step. I thought Logan's actually played pretty good. Knight's played pretty good. I can't think. The guy we got from the Eagles.
Oren Burks. He's been hit and miss. Yeah,
he's been hit and miss. But for the most part, I think the linebacking corps played pretty good. I would like to see Carter get some more snaps, because I do think he has potential being really good. But we'll see. What's your thoughts?
Well, if you look at Demetrius Knight, overall PFF grade 50.4, run defense grade 45.6. The latter is 97th out of 111 linebackers. Overall grade 82nd out of 111. He's around the ball though. I love PFF, but I don't take it as absolute scripture as to complete play, and I think it does provide a lot of good analysis as to how a player's performance was in a certain game or in a season, but I don't take it as absolute scripture. I really liked the Barrett Carter pick when they made it. I feel like he's kind of a little ADG-ish, where you can kind of move him around and do some different things with him. So I would like to see him. He doesn't need to be on the field a ton, but get creative, get that guy on the field, because he also is a missile out there. He flies around and makes some plays. So I hope he gets some snaps. I hope he has a little bit more prominent role in the defense going forward, because I really like him. I think he's got a good future ahead.
Well, I think we have a longer future with him than we do Knight, because of the age in general.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but Knight might just be playing his rookie contract, and they might move on from him just because.
Yeah, he'll be pushing 30, right? Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so it sucks, but yeah, I do like Carter. I would like to see him get some more snaps, but I think,
but creative snaps though too.
Yeah, not just
if he can blitz him.
Mm-hmm.
He can do some things in space. Just let him kind of just almost Polamalu-ish, like, hey, just go, do your thing,
attack the ball, attack the guy with the ball. So I was getting in a discussion on Twitter with somebody about since they think the season's over and we should just play all the young guys. And I'm like, okay, which young guys that we haven't played that we should play? And he mentioned Carter, he mentioned Rivers, and he mentioned a couple other guys, can't remember who. And I've said this about Rivers. I think Rivers, I think the plan for him is to be our right starting guard maybe next year. But what's your thoughts on just trying to get the young guys integrated more than Lou did? Because that, I think, was one of Lou's problems. He wouldn't play them as much as I think he should. And that's why we're kind of still don't know what we have with Miles Murphy, which we're going to have to find out more this Sunday, because it sounds like Shamar Stewart's most likely not going to play. But what's your thoughts on just trying to play the younger guys in general? Like you said, should they put them out there on specific plays, or this? Or what do you think? What do you think?
Well, I don't like the round robin idea of the offensive line. I think you got to roll with what you got out there. They're already playing one young guy in the offensive line in Fairchild. So, I think the most veteran experience that you can have out there, and let them gel, let Reisner get his feet under him a little bit. There's been moments where he's been pretty good, and then there's been moments where he has not. I think you got to let that ride. And until either the season spirals out of control, they're 2-0. I'm seeing people talk about tanking and all. I'm like,
so I don't understand that. I don't understand that. We're 2-0.
It's like, if you're knock on wood, hope this isn't the case, but if you're all your stars are decimated and injured, then I'm like, okay, I would maybe entertain that conversation.
That's a different conversation, right? That's not where we're at.
Yeah. I just it's not where the team is at right now. So. Excuse me. They're already playing a lot of young guys, though.
That was kind of like that was kind of
they're playing. They're playing Knight. They're playing the guys in the secondary. Battle has an interception in each game.
Yeah.
And he's a third-year guy.
DJ Turner got one. Drago got one.
Yeah. Dax Hill's out there, and he made a play last week. You were seeing Shamar Stewart out there, so I would argue that they already are playing a number of young guys as it is. Again, maybe you sprinkle in a little more Taj Brooks, right? Maybe you give Mitchell Tinsley a little bit more snaps. Barrett Carter is another one. There are other young guys that could get out there and do some different things and play a little bit more, but I think they're already playing a pretty decent amount of young guys. And what are you going to do? Give snaps and make Yoshi and Tinsley your starter and sit Chase and Higgins? Or I don't really understand that mindset, really.
Well, that was the whole thing where he said Rivers. I'm like, I can see that, but not now. I'm like, why would you take out Reiser and put in Rivers now? I mean, we're 2-0. I don't understand that. I understand what he's trying to say to find out what we have with these guys, but we're 2-0 and we're in first place. Why would you do that? So it just the thought process of some Bengals fans, I just don't get. They act like the season is over, and it's not. We're 2-0, and we got Minnesota, and we got Jake Browning here. Let's see here. Crip here.
Let me say something else. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Rivers hasn't really ever been a right guard, right? He's played tackle spots and different stuff. So if you're just saying, okay, and you're going to go out there as a rookie and play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that takes development. That takes time,
right?
Especially with an unfamiliar position. So now you just experienced your franchise quarterback getting hurt on a hit, and then you want to pop in a rookie. And I think Jalen Rivers was also one of my favorite picks of this class. But you want to pop a rookie into an unfamiliar position just to play a young guy to get them experience. I get that you want him to get snaps and you develop with snaps, but now's not the time. Now's not the time. I think there is a time for some of the names that we mentioned, Barrett Carter, maybe Taj Brooks, and Mitchell Tinsley has earned some more time as well. But I think, doing that on the offensive line right now is just not the right move.
Yeah, and this is where I love Twitter and I hate Twitter because I most of the time don't have the time to stand there and type it all out, my response, thinking it all out and spelling everything correctly. So I'm like, who you want them to play? I'm like, okay. I kind of ignored him after that, but that's why I like the show. I can talk. Here says, do you guys think Miles could get lined up inside and get on the field more often? Well, like we're saying, is Shamar Stewart sounds like he's most likely out for this game. Hopefully not. I don't even know if he's doubtful or what he is, but I think Miles is going to get more playing time because Shamar could be out
of necessity.
Out of necessity. So, and I know Joe Farsing, he's brought that up a lot on here, and he's literally been the only guy on my show who has suggested moving Miles inside because most people don't think he's big enough to do it or quick enough to do it. What's your thoughts?
Well, they got to figure out something to find him to be the most effective he can be. He's got a lot of talent, but it has not shown up in a lot of different ways, stats or otherwise. So he had a nice little ascension at the end of last year. And I think hopes are still high, but now you've got another first round pick. Yes, he's slightly injured at the moment, but this is the time where you'd have to tinker with him and see where he can be effective. Again, I mentioned earlier, the Bengals their interior defensive, what did they have? 11 pressures, and Trey Hendrickson had 6 of them last week. So, Al Golden's blitzing more, et cetera. So they need to get more pressure and they need to do it from the inside. And so if that takes Miles Murphy coming in on the inside, I say try it if you think he's at least capable or competent enough to know what he's supposed to do, and then let him do his thing. He's a big guy. He's not obviously defensive tackle, nose tackle build or anything like that, but he's a bigger guy and he's a strong guy. So maybe some of that bull rush that he's got can work on the inside on some obvious passing downs. That's
where I hope that when Shamar comes back, like I said, I haven't heard if he's definitely out or not this week. I've been running around crazy, so I haven't.
Well, it's Tuesday. I mean, it's not. It'll be more. Yeah, it'll be more later in the week, I think.
But I think if we can get Osai and Murphy to get pressure from the outside, then you can kick Shamar inside more, and hopefully that'll help you get more pressure up the middle if it's coming from Shamar. But I'm not saying that because Schwartz going to move around. But we need more impact from Joseph Osai and Miles Murphy in general. We got to get pressure on this quarterback more than just Trey. And that's something that hopefully will change here this week in Minnesota.
Yeah, and you saw, even though Trey didn't have a totally dominant game, but you saw an early pressure. I think it was – he did that, and also his pressure resulted in the Dax Hill interception in the end zone.
Yep.
He forced Trevor to throw a bad throw because he was kind of off platform, and it was underthrown, and Dax made a nice play. So if you get more of that, you're not going to get as much as you get from Trey, but if you get more of that from the other side or from the interior, then more of those turnovers are going to come. More of those times off the field are going to come, and that's what you want.
All right, so my phone's blowing up here. It sounds like Chop Shop is going to have some let's see, let me look at the graphic here. Some Jackpot Jake and JB 9-6 t-shirts. So if you guys are interested, and I think the proceeds are going to go to Project Game Day.
Cool.
So I'm sure Bengals and Brewers will announce it more, but my phone is literally blowing up right now with them talking about it. So
well, we didn't talk about this, bud. And I know you like to keep it around an hour, so I don't want to chat your ear off. But
all right, what's up?
Desmond Ridder is going to the Vikings.
I did hear that. I heard that. Which I'm happy for Dez. Hopefully he gets a shot.
Do you think that's an espionage move right there?
It could be. I mean, it could be. I mean, that's a sneaky kind of move there to get your quarterback or one of your quarterbacks is there the whole training camp. But good for Dez. But yeah, it could be something to try to get some info, because I mean, what does Dez care? As long as he could have a playbook here. There it is.
Exactly.
Hopefully not, but it'll be interesting to see. I'll get you on this, AC. What predictions? What do you think is going to happen? So you don't have to give me a number. Just what's your thoughts in general of what's going to happen on Sunday versus Minnesota?
Initially, even with Burrow, I thought this was going to be a tough game. I'm not a JJ McCarthy guy, regardless, but I thought this was going to be a tough win. I think it's in Minnesota, right? So,
yep.
The tough game. I do think now that Wentz is in, the Bengals, obviously their chances improved, and that's not to say that Carson Wentz can't make plays, but he hasn't been the guy that he was, 7-8 years ago when he was on fire. So I am interested in that regard. I think Jake Browning is going to be ultra motivated this week again, regardless of beating them last time. I do think that Brian Flores defense is really tough, though. So
and there went your light again.
There went my light. I know. I've got these like fluorescent tube lights that are LED, but they I think it's a safety mechanism or something. If they get hot,
they get too hot to turn off.
Yeah. So I got to get one of those like ring lights or whatever. But yeah, no, that Flores defense is tough. That Flores. Yeah, so I do think the Bengals do take this one. I think it's probably pretty ugly. Especially probably 20-16 or something like that is kind of where I'm at. I do think Browning's still going to have to work out some kinks coming back into the lineup, but that's kind of where I'm at.
And this is another interesting Twitter fight discussion I got into with some guy. Tell me that Carson Wentz has been a star or is a starter, and Jake Browning's not a starter. I say Carson Wentz hasn't been a starter in this year in at least 5 years. I mean, he has, and he's had opportunities to be a starting quarterback, and he's stunk at it. So he was trying to tell me, like, oh, Carson Wentz is going to be way better than Jake Browning. Okay, have you seen Jake Browning? Did you see him 2 years ago?
He does have, Thielen's back there, and he does have JJ, obviously, and they've got is Addison in? I haven't even looked at the injuries. I mean, they've got weapons.
But it's not like he's not Wentz of, like you said, 7 years ago. He's not been accurate. That's been his biggest problem.
Right.
So we'll see.
Right. I mean, he started a game in 23 and a game in 24, but his most extensive time was 4 or 5 years ago.
There you go. All right, AC. I appreciate you as always coming in. This, like I said,
thanks, man.
It wasn't a round table because I guess Travis couldn't join.
It was a face-to-face. It was a face-to-face.
Face-to-face table. We're going to the Godfather.
Hey, I appreciate you. I I sometimes wonder why you invite me on so much, because I don't know if I bring the value, but I appreciate it, my friend. I always love coming on and
you're awesome,
chatting ball with you.
Exactly, it's fun. So do me a favor to plug some stuff and self-promote yourself a little bit, please, before I let you go.
Cincy Jungle's the writing, and you can get some of the podcast stuff there, as well as the Orange and Black Insider and Believe in Cincy podcast channel. So go get that. We have some fun with it. John's a smart guy. I don't know. I just show up and
got the Godfather in the brain.
Yeah, there it is. Hey, but appreciate you. Love your show. Love what you do. And if anytime I can make it happen, I will be open to coming on.
I appreciate you. I'll try not to text you at 6 a.m.
It's time. It's okay. I'll try and find some new fluorescent light bulbs or something. Sure.
There you go. All right. Appreciate you, AC. Take it easy. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that much. I did. Chop, if you're in the chat, are you doing the Jackpot Browning t-shirts? And are you, because I kind of looked at our group chat here. Oh, it says tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Tomorrow, you think you'll have them? That's what the text I got here. If you're watching. And I don't know how much she's going to sell them for, but I think all the proceeds go to the Project Game Day. So stay tuned. I'm sure I'll tweet something out about it. Bengals and Brews will. Project Game Day will. We'll get some stuff out there to have the Jackpot Jake or JP 9 to 6 t-shirts out there. It's going to be awesome. So keep an eye out for that. Once again, as always, thank you for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me on all those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. I will be pulling the sound off later on tonight. Do me a favor, listen to it, and then rate, like, and review it. It's on BeatPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitch Play, pretty much wherever your podcasts are. Rate it, like it, review it. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast, because people are actually starting to listen to it.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
Do you believe? I know I do. Come on down and join me this Sunday at the Moorland Lager House for a Bengals watch party. We got $5 draft, $5 well drinks, $5 shot of the day. I'll be doing Bengals trivia, giving away prizes. It's going to be a lot of fun. We even got bigger TVs now. So come on down, support the Bengals. Go hang out with some Bengals friends. It's going to be a great time. Show up at noon. I'm DJing. It'll be fun. See you there. Moorland Lager House. Let's go.
Again, we had a great time this past Sunday for the Moorland Lager House pregame tailgate. It was sponsored by Best Day Brewing. It's a non-alcoholic beer. They're giving away free samples. We had a football toss in there where if you made 1 out of 5, all you do is hit it once, you got a $10 gift card. This Sunday, we're doing a watch party. They do have bigger TVs down there at Moorland Lager House. It's $5 drinks, $5 well drinks, $5 shots. I'll be DJing. We're giving away some prizes and stuff. Let's go down there and let's support Jake Browning, because I got a question for you. Like I said, I believe in Jake Browning. I think we have a legit shot of beating Minnesota. I think we have a legit shot of beating Denver. But let's take it 1 week at a time. Let's concentrate on Minnesota. Let's get there, get this win, go 3-0, and see what happens, because you never know. Crazier things that happened. Remember one thing and one thing only. That is Who Dey for life. And remember, as always, throw it up, baby. BWO. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.